Hey, 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 everybody, what's going on? How are you doing this beautiful Monday morning? How is everybody? Hopefully, you all are well. Let's go ahead and get started today with Monday Musings, which we're going to talk about a couple different things. We're going to talk about the 50th scariest urban legend myths of each state, see what's going on there. Some you've heard, some you may not have heard. Some I've heard, and some I haven't heard of. So it's a pretty cool read. Um, and they're short little clips. After that, we have a basic guide to types of hauntings and everything. And it's a handy basic guide to types of hauntings. And I want to get you guys' take on that, see what that's all about. See if you believe in what they say, or do you have different theories about different things. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Let me go ahead and switch my screen. Maybe. See if I knew I hit the wrong one as soon as I did. So the first item, or the first state I should say, on our list is North Minnesota, the Wendigo. Some say Wendigo, some say Wendigo, whatever. But anyway, it says this is the one of the oldest legendary monsters, dating back to the folklore of Native Americans who hunted these 15-foot tall shape-shifting creatures even into the early 20th century. Anyone who resorts to cannibalism and tastes human flesh will become one. Ooh. So that's the Wendigo in northern Minnesota. Second one is Water Babies of Massacre Rock in Idaho. Sit by the river and you can hear the sounds of babies crying. They're the babies that the mothers were forced to kill during a famine rather than see them starve. Some say these babies evolved into trickery creatures with fins and gills. That maybe is associated with I don't know about Idaho, but other legends that we hear about from the sea people. Dead Children's Playground. This one I've heard of in Huntsville, Alabama. During late night hours, swings move by themselves as spirits of buried children come to play. And if you guys hear of any of these or hear of any other ones, let me know, definitely. I love hearing about urban legends. Um, in St. Lucia Mountains in California is the Dark Watchers. Featureless creature or dark silhouettes, often with brimmed hats or walking sticks, stare down travelers during twilight and dawn in the St. Lucia Mountains. John Steinbeck briefly mentioned them in The Flight. They should not be addressed or acknowledged. But if you got somebody staring at you, I'm sure, you're sitting there going, staring back or trying to figure out what the hell, why are these people staring at? I mean, so, but they're just the watchers. I was looking at these down here because people were asking what happens if you address or acknowledge them. Um, they end up being IG models. Death, possibly. Nobody really knows, I guess. But I think if this is where I'm thinking of, I watched a documentary with Cat Baldwin, who did Paranormal State, does Portals of Hell now, and Katrina did a documentary with who the hell was she with? A bunch of other people. Keith. She was with Keith. Who else was she with? I don't know, but anyway, I could be totally wrong, and it could be totally the different, you know. Um, but I believe it was at least on the same means as that. Like these people, you could see actually they were walking down this road, and you could see people lined up like watching them. It was freaky. It was really freaky. And it was back when I was taking my hiatus um, with the paranormal, but it was the first documentary I'd seen in a while about the paranormal, and it um it was refreshing to see such good investigating, you know. Um, but it was a good documentary, and I wish I could think of what the hell it was, but I can't. But it was really good, and I remember them seeing these people watching them while they walked on the road. It was pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. You know what I forgot to do? Let me go ahead and do that real quick. Maybe. Give me 1 second, guys. I forgot to share this out. If you guys could do that for me too, share this out on Facebook and Twitter or your social media. You know how to go. It goes. You know how it goes. Because I know there is a few people that is on Facebook but not Twitter that always tell me, share it to Facebook. And I always forget. No, let us see. Share to Facebook. Tell you though, this is one of those days where my coffee seems so good. You ever have those days where it just seems so good? Okay, there we go. Posting to Facebook. There we go. All right, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Like I said, I always forget. Always forget to share to Facebook. I have it on my Stream Deck to share. I keep looking at the wrong camera. I have it on my Stream Deck to tweet it out, but not to Facebook it. So anyway, shall we get to the next one? So that was the Dark Watchers. Number 5 is the Slaughterhouse Canyon in Kingman, Arizona. One day, a father failed to return to his cabin during the 1800s gold rush, and his family starved. The mother went insane, put on her wedding dress and chopped her children up. Today, you can still hear her cries for forgiveness. Ooh, and if you guys have been to any of these, let me know. I'd really love to know. Again, wrong camera miss. So, yeah, if any of you guys have ever been to any of these, I would love to know because, you know, it's interesting. The Devil's Chair in Casadega, Florida. The Casadega Spirituals Camp is full of odd ghosts, but one chair supposedly is a favorite for the Big Cheese himself. According to local lore, if you sit in it, he will whisper horrible things in your ear, forever changing you and leave you a beer. And if you leave a beer on his chair overnight, he will drink it. Sometimes it's even sometimes even the can is still sealed. That would be wild to see. That would be really wild to see. Definitely. Why is it just doing that command? Oy vey. Oh no, I don't want to visit channel. What the hell am I doing? What am I doing? It's Monday. I can be. Work with me here. Oh, that's why. I'm hitting the wrong one. Duh. Give me 1 second. Do 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 do. Settings. Reply commands. Do do do. I don't know why it's doing that. Now they're all going to probably blast out there. So if we get a run of spam of myself, we know the problem. Well, not that we know the problem, that it's bound to happen, I'm sure. Let's see. I got the wheelie bar. Okay. Hey, Ron, what's up? Don't mind me, I'm just sitting here talking to myself. How you doing? How was your weekend? Hopefully it was a good one. So we're just doing the 50th scariest urban legends of each state. And again, we're on the Devil's Chair, Cassadaga, Florida. The Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp is full of odd ghosts, but one chair is supposedly a favorite for the Big Cheese himself. And according to local lore, if you sit in it, he will whisper horrible things in your ear, forever changing you. And if you leave him a beer after he does that, because, who doesn't want to do that, he will drink it. If you leave a beer on his chair overnight, he will drink it. Sometimes even the can is still. Hey Vegas, how you doing? What? Sorry, it sounded like we were getting a emergency alert system. How are you guys doing? How was your weekend? My hoodie? What about my hoodie? I always wear my hoodies. It's one of those things where you can't tell if you're cold or you're hot. Boring weekend? Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I know how it is. Yes, this is my hoodie that my son got me. It's one of those ones that says, I never got my letter to Hogwarts, so I'm going to go hunting with the Supernatural crew, the Winchesters. He knows I'm a big Supernatural fan, so he got it for me. Of course, I like my, Harry Potter too. Hope everybody is well. So, number 7 on the list is The Ghost Boy of Clinton Road. And like I stated before, and I looked at the wrong camera, man, I swear to God, I'm going to have to hang up signs. Look here. Um, if you guys have been to any of these or heard about these, I've heard of some. I went down, I skimmed through. I heard of some, haven't heard of all of them. But if you guys have ever been to any of these, let me know because I'd really be interested in what you experienced. So, the Ghost Boy of Clinton Road in Passaic County, New Jersey. Hiding under one of the bridges of the Clinton Road is a ghost boy. But don't worry, he's pretty nice and helpful. If you throw a coin into the river, he'll return it to you. Your high opinion yourself? Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Yes, isn't spell check awesome? I don't know how many times I've called somebody a duck because of spell check. No, I'm joking. Only my ex husband. Number 8, Goody Cole, Hampton, Hampton, New Hampshire. For some reason, my brain wasn't going to say that or have me say that. Eunice Goody Cole was blamed for numerous local tragedies and accused of witchcraft twice. Legend says that the locals stalked her heart or staked her heart to make sure she wouldn't bother them, but they continued to blame numerous events on her. Some say she still pays a visit from time to time. Well, that's not nice. That's not nice at all. Number 9, Annabelle the Demonic Doll, Monroe, Connecticut. The, denom- dem- bleh, the demonic doll in The Conjuring and Annabelle is inspired by a real life Raggedy Ann doll, supposedly inhabited by the spirit of a dead girl, which was given to two demonologists, Ed and Lorraine Warren, after some extreme malicious paranormal activity. And of course, we've all heard of Annabelle, but that is number 9. Number 10, The Goat Man, Prince George's County, Maryland. The legend stirs so much enthusiasm that the USDA at one point had to formally deny the creation of the Goatman in their Beltsville Research Agriculture Center. The half man, half goat created creature likes to chase down teenagers in Lover's Lane and distract drivers on Crybaby Bridge. And of course, there's Goatman's Bridge in Texas, where Amy and April, well, not Amy, not April, but Amy from What If Paranormal, or What the Paranormal. Um, I'm so glad you know all these people because, you know, goes there and checks it out with her daughter, and it's so cool. She's got an amazing evidence from there. Number 11 is Night Watchers or Night Marchers in Hawaii. Now, I've seen a documentary about this and they freak me out just because I'll tell you why. Because some of these other legends have died down over the years. You know what I mean? We don't hear of them much anymore. But um knowing a couple people that are Hawaiian and stuff, their legend and lore they still live by. You know what I mean? They still, it's kind of like some Native Americans. They still believe in all these. And I think that's what makes it, because that legend is so very much still alive there, the activity is comes alive. You know what I mean? But the night marchers in Hawaii, deadly ghosts of ancient Hawaiian warriors that march on the waters during nights honoring ancient gods. The night marchers are heralded by chanting and conch shells. If you hear them, or if you hear that, run, because they're meanies. Um, yeah, and as I guess you're supposed to, one of the comments on here says, if you hear it off in the distance, run. If you hear it relatively close, lay down on your belly, keep your face to the ground, and close your eyes. Stay like that until you no longer hear them. And I mean, that's what they tell you, even today. You know, that legend is still very much alive on that island. Well, all the islands. But yeah, yeah. Like I have a friend that's Hawaiian and he's amazing and he'll tell you, I mean, he's, I don't know, I would say about maybe in his late 50s, early 60s. And, you know, it's very refreshing to see somebody that's um still brings that culture around. You know what I mean? It's, you know, the greeting is still mahala, you know, when he sees you and, you know, just he's a beautiful person. And he was telling me some of the legends and lores of Hawaii and that, and you can see it in his eyes when he's talking about it that it's still very much alive. It's very cool to talk to somebody who's Hawaiian. See, I was looking at the comments. The Visila, I can never say this right. X Murder House. This was one of Chad's theories. on Amityville because there was, he says this is the first Amityville horror, not even though it's not in Amityville. Chad Kalick, for anyone who don't know who I'm talking about. Um, and there's one, no, one, he goes, these things usually happen in threes, so is there going to be another one? But this was basically, okay, Ron, no worries. um, the Priscilla X Murder House. Based on real events, this 1912 cold case features a whole family, two parents, four children, and two house guests being bludgeoned to death in their sleep. Since then, the house has been a source of odd paranormal activity, such as a ghost hunter stabbing himself in the chest in 2014. Um, you know, like I said, one of Chad's theories is that this is the first Amityville house, just not in Amityville. They were both murdered the same way. Nobody woke up. Not the same way, but one was an axe, one was a shotgun, but nobody woke up while the killings were happening. Um, there's a couple different things that he brings into perspective, and it's really cool. And it makes you think. Definitely makes you think. And he actually talks with the guy that owns the murder house, too, in the documentary. It's pretty cool. The Kushtaka, southern Alaska, a shape-shifting creature that are a cross between an otter and man. The Kushtaka makes noise that mimic children and wives to lure fishermen, though they are sometimes helpful tricksters. Now, I will tell you, with the natives that I have talked to around here, when it comes to their lore, whether I mean, there's a lot of different natives around here. Some are Yuptik, like my good friend and ex coworker. She's Yupik, but her husband is another kind of native. I can't remember what his is, but there's a lot of different lore. But they all have the same lore, and they're very, again, like Hawaiians. It's still very, very steeped in truth to them. So, you know, this guy said, I'm born and raised Alaskan and have traveled quite a bit within the state, and I have never heard of this. Um, if you talk to people, well, nobody, and that's the thing too, is with natives, they don't like talking to this about stuff like this because of the fact that they feel that if they talk about it, it'll come to be. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of times, unless you're me and I just go out and, I'm friends with people, so I ask them. Or one of my friends, my ex coworker, she she was having problems at her house, and I was asking her, what do you think it is? And stuff like that. And she was telling me the lore of her people and what it could be. And I was looking into it between like a paranormal person would look into it rather than a cryptologist or an urban legend type person. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. See, why is it only doing that one? This is pissing me off. Oh, as usual. But anyway, the next one is The Phantom Hitchhiker of Black Horse Lake, Cascade County, Montana. A Native American man with long black hair wearing an outdated baggy jacket and jeans collides with cars and suddenly appearing on their windshield. Oh, that would freak me out. Only for him to vanish without a dent. He's also known to hitch a ride and chase cars at human speeds. If this is what I'm thinking of, I actually heard of this legend, not about him being on. um, appearing on windshields or colliding with cars, but running. I do remember somebody telling me a story about that, that they were driving. I wonder if this was where it was. Um, Story about, this was an actual in person, person that I was talking to, um, telling me a story about him driving down the road and looking out, um, his, window and seeing an Indian man running alongside the car, and he was like going really fast. So it definitely, I wonder if that's where this was. I can't remember. I was so young then. We were all like hanging around talking about ghost stories and stuff. But number 15 is the spiteful mermaid of Pyramid Lake, Nevada. While Area 51 gets all the fame and glory, it is supposed alien autopsies. Fewer people know about the curse on Pyramid Lake, which happened after a Pleiadi man fell in love with a mermaid. His tribe rejected her and told him to throw her back in. She cursed the lake, brought the settlers, and ignited a war. Talk about spite. In modern times, the lake has drowned locals, spitting them out as far as Lake Tahoe. Now, Vegas, have you heard of this? If you're still in here, have you ever heard of this one? But that's pretty wild. That's pretty damn wild. Riverdale Road in Colorado. Riverdale Road is home to a host of legends. While traveling down the road during a full moon, one can see the hanging bodies of slaves on the trees. That would be freaky. They have their own Lady in White, but one section of the road led to a mansion that contained a satanic cult. The gate to hell itself is reportedly inside the chicken coop. That is creepy. I'm not gonna lie. That is creepy. I'm gonna try something here. I don't know how this works, but no. Okay. Number 17, Colonel Buck's tomb. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Ron. And this is in Bucksport's, Maine. After a woman became pregnant with Colonel Buck's son, he forced her out. Wait a minute, let's try that again. After a woman became pregnant with Colonel Buck's son, he forced her out to take care of the baby alone, later having her burned as a witch. The son ran off with the witch's leg that had rolled out of the bonfire, and he later cursed the colonel's tomb, which now bears the stain of the leg, despite several attempts to clean it, replace it, remove it. Yeah, that I've heard of that one. I've heard of that one. Once he said about the leg, I don't remember reading about the son ran off with the leg. But, I did hear about that, though. The Cursed Pillar in Augusta, Georgia. After a preacher was told he couldn't deliver a sermon next to the pillar, he declared that the whole town would be destroyed and the pillar would be the only thing standing. A freak tornado later destroyed most of Augusta with the pillar left standing. I'm telling you, people curse stuff all the time, and put enough faith in it, it'll come true. Ghost elephants in Forest Park, Illinois. A real life 1918 train wreck of circus cars leading to troops' deaths has popularized the legend that elephants had to be buried where they fell. Now, supposedly, the circus still takes place at night in the Woodland Cemetery. That would be wild to see. Nobody's ever heard of that. Well, at least I've never heard of that. A circus, a ghost circus. Can you imagine? Hey, I went and saw the circus last night, and people are like, "What circus?" And they're like, "The one up by the cemetery." And they're like, "No, that hasn't ran since the 1900s." That would be wild. Number 20, the men in black at Shaman's Portal in Beaver, Oklahoma. Beaver Dunes Park in the Bermuda Triangle of Oklahoma, with weird disappearances dating back as far as um, Coronado's time, when his men disappeared in flashes of green light. In recent times, archaeologists have been chased away from the site by mysterious government officials. According to the superstition, anyone who learns anything about what truly is buried underneath the sand disappears. I'm writing that sucker down because I want to know about it. Beaver Dunes. So if I disappear, you know what happened to me. Oklahoma. Oh, have you guys heard any of this? I love researching things. I definitely want to know. I mean, I'm not going to go digging there, but Men in Black. You know me and the Men in Black. Love them guys. Not really, but you know. Number 21, Walkin' Sam, Pine Ridge, Indiana Reservation, South Dakota. A 7 foot tall spectator or specter whose job is it to collect the souls of suicide victims stalks lonely, depressed adolescents. Perhaps he's an explanation for the alarming high suicide rates in the area or the few recent attempts at mass suicide. Never heard of that one either. Walking Sam. You are my biggest fan, Ron. It's Monday. That's I hardly get people Monday. They're like, it's Monday. Nobody wants to. This person actually brought up a great point. Is it Slender Man? It could be what he was inspired by, as somebody said. But yeah, definitely Walking Sam. I don't see why it couldn't be Slender Man. That's pretty cool though. Number 22, La Malahora, New Mexico. Hopefully I said that right. Sorry if I didn't. If you're traveling alone in the country crossroads after dark, avoid this demon, which appears as a woman. She drives people insane, and if you see her, either you or someone you love will die. Yeah, I know. Oh, I know. I'm not stupid when it comes to stuff like that. When it comes to the government stuff, I'm not stupid when it comes to that. Um, you know, you can't be when it comes to stuff like that. You know what I mean? But usually that's why I like exploring stuff because if there is government officials and stuff like that involved, usually it's something more than what we know. Skinned Tom in Wallen, Tennessee. Don't woo the wrong lady like young Tom did. He ended up getting skinned alive by a beautiful woman's angry husband. His bloody ghost hangs around Lover's Lane to punish cheaters. Ooh, that's creepy. Oh, really, Ron? Nothing wrong with that. I don't. Me myself and I don't watch the news. I'll catch bits and pieces, not bits and pieces, or Eddie will tell me about the news, what's going on. I care not to. Number 24, The Curse of Escalante, Petrified Forest. I've heard of this, but I didn't ever knew where it was. In Utah? Anyone who takes petrified wood back from the state park befalls bad luck, job loss, sickness, and accidents. Park managers claim they get dozens of packages every year sending back chunks of wood from the regretful thieves. That's kind of like the Blair Witch, the Blair Witch. What is it? Caverns or caves? Yeah, exactly. I feel the same way, Ron. They all have their opinions in the news. That's, you know what I mean? So, so yeah, that's why I don't watch news. Yeah, basically. I'm not going to sit there and try to struggle with what I'm supposed to believe and what I'm not. So, you know. Mercy Brown, the vampire. Bucksport, Rhode Island. Outbreaks of tuberculosis caused a vampire scare in 1892 when a full family contracted the disease. While most of her family's bodies decomposed, Mercy's body seemed to be frozen in time, making people suspect her to be a vampire. While it was obviously superstition, the legend persists. And they did cut out her heart. They took her heart out. I remember that. I have heard about that. The Ragaroo. I've heard of that. Ragaroo, too. In Louisiana, a pale white werewolf like creature prowls the swamps and often stars in stories to encourage children to behave, such as hunting down Catholics who don't practice Lent. I've never heard about that with the Ragaroo, but okay. That's why I like reading these little things. Hey, oh my God, my other ones are working. Um, oh, that's Nightbot. That's why. Um, but yeah, I've never heard about that part of the Ragaroo. But that's why I love these little internet sites that have um different things on them that were added or you know. Did you know about the Ragaroo hunting down Catholics who don't practice Lent? I didn't know that's how it got started or what. Oh, this person said in French, a werewolf is called a loup-garou. So I think there must be a connection. That's cool. Yeah. See, I like reading these little comments. Most likely distortion of the word that ended up having its own regional meaning. Yeah. The name Cajun itself is the distortion of Acadian. Um, and that's where this is supposed to be down around the Cajun people. The Loveland Frog of Ohio. Matter of fact, when I was searching things, I actually heard about the Loveland Frog because apparently it's popped up again. There's some stories about the Loveland Frog in Ohio. A humanoid 4-foot frog apparently hangs out at the sides of the roads in the Loveland at night and it will stand on its hind legs, wave a wand over its head, and shoot sparks to deter humans. Yeah, so apparently it's making its appearance again. It's funny how these things come in waves. What do you think's happening there, Ron? Why do things come in waves when people see crypto things, cryptozoology animals and stuff? The hoodoo, yeah. That's always where I've heard it from was the ragaroo. Was in the hoodoo version, people have sent the ragaroo or the warning of the ragaroo um, within the hoodoo community or whatnot. Yeah, exactly. You're right. You are definitely right. The Gateway to Hell, Stall, Kansas. One of several gateways to hell in America, the stairs to an old demolished church open to the other side on Halloween and the spring equinox. Hmm. The thing about it is when it comes, because I've known a couple places to have the stairway to hell. I don't think I could bring myself. It's funny because I'm not like, I don't know. I don't think I could bring myself to walk down them per se. I don't know. I've never been to them per se, but I've heard people talking about them. I know a couple places. There's one in Pennsylvania, there's one in New York. You know, Speaking of that, I just got, for some reason, um, Ron, I just read your thing over again about the Ragaroo and the Hoodoo. Do you think it's like the Hoodoo people are kind of like Indians and skinwalkers? Maybe? Is it that same kind of. I mean, I know about the Ragaroo and I know about Hoodoo, but I've never really researched the both of them, if that makes sense. Right. People playing with magic. That's so true. That's so true. That's why on my forum board um that I'm doing, it's like, you know, I don't mind sharing my stuff, especially because I do have so many witchy friends anyway. Um that there is spells on there and there's going to be more spells added. And but the thing of it is like if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. Do you know what I mean? But that's all how you learn too. I mean, for a long time, even when I first started getting into witchcraft and that, I mean, yes, voodoo and hoodoo are very different than witchcraft, but okay, okay. Good to know, Ron. Thank you for clearing that up for me. Um, oh, God, that's good. Thank you for the follow, Kitty. How you doing? um, but yeah, even though they're up there, like when I that deterred me a lot from doing witchcraft when I first got into it. You know what I mean? I was nervous to do anything, but you also have to um, learn in your own way, in your own forms. You know what I mean? Like what I'm putting up on the forum is very basic and very and I'm gonna put this statement up there because like spells that I find, yeah, hoodoo. That's what makes me mad when people talk about voodoo because voodoo's not. It's not hoodoo. Yes, I understand. Um, Freaking noises going on here. Hoodoo is very. I If somebody said something about hoodoo, that kind of gives me. I get nervous about that. Voodoo, I still do, but not so much. Um, but yeah, like I was saying, the spells I put up are very basic, and like even though they're there, and every one of those spells have been in one of my books of book of spells or my grimoire or whatever, because I've had millions of them. um, I've changed them for my fitting. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I don't know how we got on. Well, I do because we were talking about hoodoo and voodoo. But yeah, hoodoo is yeah, more black magic. And like I said, I get when somebody brings up hoodoo, I get more nervous than when somebody brings up voodoo, you know. Like what I am, I'm an eclectic solitary gray witch. And it's like people hear the word gray and they automatically think, gotcha. Okay. Okay. And yeah, people hear gray and they're like, "Oh my God," you know what I mean? But it's like, no. See, the way I look at things is I know how to do dark magic. Yes, I do, but I also know the consequences of using dark magic, and I rarely ever do, um, because I do know. I believe in the tenfold rule, and the threefold rule, whatever you want to believe in. But and I know using that can bring harm to me or my loved ones or my friends, and I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't put anybody in um harm's way, if that makes sense. So yeah, although I do know how to do it, most likely I won't, and there's most likely a spell in my books that I would use way before doing any of that, if that makes sense. But I do know about it, and I know how to go about using black magic. Doesn't mean I will. I had a spell book given to me only. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, at one time I had 7 books of books of spells. I, my book of shadows was all the 7 together, basically. But they all were different. They weren't, you know what I mean? Like I had my herbal magic, I had my spellcraft, I had, my candle magic. I'm very organized when it comes that way. So, or comes to that, I should say. I made my own book that, like on the Practical Magic movie, the book they had. I made a book like that out of binders. Um, and that was a lot of my Book of Shadows too, was binders. Just because it's easier and I keep them in plastic because my spells are handwritten and obviously. And I keep them in the plastic sleeves so nothing gets on them. Because let me tell you, I've ruined a lot of pages that way of not having them in those plastic things, and candle wax gets on them or whatnot. And I'm like, what the hell does that say? You know? So moving on, number 29, the Kentucky Goblins, Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Now, this is based off of that documentary I was talking about Hellier. I don't even think I said that different any of those 3 ways. Yeah, yeah, and that's just the thing. Like I said, with the spells like I'm putting on the forum, I encourage people to change them up. Even a lot of my spells though, I come up when it's spoken spells anyway, not rituals or getting out the candle or whatnot. I'm very when something's happening that I need a spell for, I'm very good at coming up with one right at the spot. I won't remember it later. Very good at that with everything. But, like I said, my biggest lie is telling myself, oh, don't write it down, you'll remember. Um, but I needed that spell at that one instance. You know what I mean? I needed that spell at that one minute. So I'll do a saying right there on the spot and cast it out. And like I said, a lot of them I don't remember. There's one. I mean, and it could be something like, don't get me wrong, it's anything little from I remember one time I was walking to a friend's house in a like a blizzard, and I was just walking down the street like this, right? Of course, walking into the wind. And I set a spell to like block the wind from, you know, and I can't for the life of me remember that spell. And believe me, as windy as it gets here, I've tried to remember it. But if I do use one, I'll just make up another one. It's all about, when working with spell work, it's all about truly believing in yourself and doing it. And the words spoken or the tools used, right? I'm glad I'm not the only one that does that, that lies to themselves and said, "Oh, don't write it down. You won't forget." Um, the tools using, it's all visual and hearing. You know what I mean? Like a spell, of course, is easier to remember if it rhymes. Where tools, they're just visual. You're the tool. You are the most important tool. Your brain is the most important tool in your words that you have. And people don't realize that. So anyway, the Kentucky Goblins, the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter was a supposed extraterrestrial visit by the small goblin-like green hairless children with 3 toes. While most skeptics easily dismiss them as owls, there has been a new wave of recent sightings of them on the other side of Kentucky in Hellier. Hey Carl, how you doing? How you doing? How was your weekend? Hopefully fun. Probably not, but Cropsey. Now, even though I'm not from Staten Island area in New York, I do remember hearing this, and I remember being very, very scared about it. This escaped mental patient with a hook for a hand would snatch children in Staten Island. But the old legend became horrifyingly real when a killer named Andre Rand was caught in the 1970s. Hey Jesse, how you doing? What's that? The hobgoblins or the cropsy? Or me? Maybe I'm the lovely creature. How you doing, hon? Hopefully you had a good weekend. Yeah, Hookman. That here somebody had wrote Hookman. So glad the show was based on real legends. Oh, goblins. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen the documentary Hellier. If you're interested in learning about the Kentucky goblins, Hellier is a good documentary to watch. It kind of gets, there's some slow parts in there, but it definitely gets interesting. And I hope they do a season 3 because they already got 1 and 2. And it's by, I don't know if you ever watched like Kindred Spirits, Greg and Dana Newkirk. They're the ones that this is about. He got a message from somebody to look into this, and he does, and it's very interesting. Um, and I hope they make a season 3. Hopefully, he's been hitting around to it, but I'm not sure. So it's been real cool. Oh, are you, Carl? You're going to Staten Island? I'm not from that part. I'm from Western New York, but I do remember growing up with that, with Cropsey, hearing about Cropsey. Or I could have been hearing about the real guy too, the Andre Rand. Oh, I do watch that, Carl. I do watch that. That's right. Little green guys running around there. I was told that certain, so people have certain gifts. Everybody has gifts. Yes, everybody has gifts. Every human. It's just opening up and finding yours, and you know, No, I'm not. I mean, even though I was 15 minutes from or 45 minutes from Buffalo, I'm more of a Rochester girl, so I hung around that, like Mount Hope Cemetery, the home of Jack the Ripper. Well, one of the people that was thought they were Jack the Ripper, they thought was Jack the Ripper, is buried. Or Rolling Hills. If you've heard of Rolling Hills Sanitarium, I lived 20 seconds from there, maybe 10 minutes. I don't know. Close. But no, I did not visit the pet cemetery in Buffalo, and I do want to. I want to visit. If I go home, I do want to go to the Buffalo. What do you call it? The bus station. I know there's a word. There's a name for it, but I can't remember. Fish gills? I don't want any fish gills. The only fish I eat is haddock or cod. I don't even know if that's freshwater or saltwater. I think that's freshwater, right? Haddock and cod. Very cool. Very cool. But yeah, so crop seam is number 30. The name Rogue. I don't know if that's supposed to be Rogue or Rouge. I think Rouge has another U in it, but I'm not sure. And Rogue sounds about right. It's a rogue. Detroit, and this is Detroit, Michigan. Detroit is haunted by a small impish hobgoblin who predicts misfortune and has cursed the city. He was seen in the 1805 fire, which nearly destroyed the whole city, the 1968 riots, and the 1976 ice storm. Today, a banishment parade is celebrated yearly. Now, I wonder if that's like the Mothman. Was it a harbinger of death? Not a harbinger, but like a warning. See, I truly think the Mothman is just a warning that something bad is going to happen. I don't think it actually makes things happen. Baton Rouge. Oh, Rouge. That's I get what you're saying. The name Rouge. Oh, could be. Oh, really, Carl? Yeah. But yeah, I think. Well, I don't know if it's an imp hobgoblin. That's I don't know. That could be a harbinger of bad luck, but um, I don't know. Maybe it's just a warning too. I don't know. Number 32, in Nebraska, they have radioactive hornets. This is a recent urban legend. After the Fukushima nuclear disaster, the locals of Nebraska believed that, that mutant hornets from that area had grown to 4 times their normal size and were running rampant locally. Nah, I don't think it was an owl. I mean, I could be wrong. I just had, that person went rogue. Oh, okay. Rogue is the one with the U after the G. Okay. See, I get confused on my words too. I could hardly speak English. Um, this reminds me of back in the day when we had killer bees. Do you remember those? I mean, I know they exist, you know, but this, what do you guys think? Do you think from the, you never know. Is anybody from Nebraska? I don't know. See, when it comes to the Mothman, I just anything that I watch, I get the same feeling from, and whether they're trying to debunk it or what. And see, you have to understand that I'm clear cognizant and I'm clear sentient, which means I feel a lot of things, and I just I feel so wrong for saying this, but I just clear cognizance is knowing. Um, yeah, wicked insects. Yeah, exactly. They would be wicked insects, especially if they're nuclear or not nuclear. Yeah. Well, no, if they're radioactive, I mean. I wouldn't want to get bit from them. Yeah, so you're helping me, Ron, putting in a different perspective. You know what I mean? Um, what was I saying? I totally forgot. I get so distracted. Look, a squirrel. Um, but yeah, different. So when I'm watching something, no matter what I'm watching, if I get a certain feel, I go with it. I'm a very go with your gut instinct type of person. Very. I wasn't for a long time, and my life was shit. So the more and more that I go with my gut, it steers me in the right direction, and I'm learning to really go that way. Um, and I've tested myself and proven myself that that's the way to do, and my life has improved immensely from that. Um, which I've always had that. I just never listened to it, if that makes sense. Oh, that's cool, Carl. That's really cool. I have The Mothman Behind the Red Eyes, the complete investigative library book by Jeff Wims. See? Wamsley. I could go with that, Ron. I could go with that theory. I really could. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying though. When it comes to the whole UFO alien thing with me, yeah, I joke about it a lot, but that shit really pisses me off because if there comes to we come to find out that there's aliens, the government destroyed a lot of freaking lives. You know what I mean? And people calling people crazy, that's what pisses me off about their theories and their thoughts about things and what they believe in. I believe everybody, when we believe in such a thing or have an experience, that's why I think every experience that somebody has ever happened is has happened. You know what I mean? Um, but it's their world. Like like I said, I use the experience of demons. I've been in the paranormal field. Well, I'll say 20 years. It should have been 30 years, but I took 10 years off. Okay, and I've never come across, never, ever have come across a demon. I've come across a lot of confused spirits. I've come across a lot of that could be malicious, but not really. They're just, I don't know. You can't. They're not evil. Um, but that's my world. To where other people who believe in demons and everything see demons or hear demons or feel demons. Do you know what I'm saying? Whatever you believe in your world, that's what you can manifest, and that's what that's why we can't convince each other of thinking this way or that way, if that makes sense. But I do believe you. I do, you know, the government, they don't know. Oh, I don't know. Although I will say, Carl, cranes and herrings scare the hell out of me. They're too big. Okay, they might as well be. They're pterodactyls to me, and I could see that. But I don't think that. I don't feel that. And like I said, that's just me. I I mean, the first time I saw it, and I could see that. I really could because cranes and freaking herrings are huge. Um, the first time I saw a herring, I thought it was freaking. I thought it was a pterodactyl. Yeah, like the California condor. Oh, cool. Thank you, Carl. I appreciate that. I wonder if that's on here. I don't think that's on here. Have we done PA yet? I don't think so. I don't know if they're going in alphabetical order or what, but okay, so let's see. Oh no, here's PA. They're not doing the Mothman. Charlie No Face, Pittsburgh, PA. Rumors of a murderous, faceless man roaming the streets at night were based on a real life person who suffered an extreme accident that destroyed his face. He wasn't, as it turns out, a murderer. He walked at night because he wanted to get fresh air and to be left alone. But the legend stuck, however. And I've heard of that legend, yes. No, I know, Carl. I know. No, that's why everybody's um theories or thoughts on the subject or what that's why I have these chats is because I like hearing everybody's stories and theories on things. You know what I mean? Definitely. This world would be so boring if we were all one type of person. You know what I mean? I don't try to debunk things per se. I try to figure out why people are seeing the things the way they do. Do you know what I mean? Like if somebody who's colorblind, I'm not colorblind, so I don't know what they see, right? So I try to, it's hard to explain. I try to see through their eyes. Same with people that's had paranormal experiences or, cryptid experiences or UFO experiences. It's like you know, okay, Ron. Oh, cool. See, with that, Carl, I'm the opposite of that. I don't want to go to Point Pleasant because I'm sure those people are. I mean, I know it brings in money and stuff like that, but I'm probably sure that those people are so sick and tired of talking about it. I look at things like that. I don't want to burden anybody. That's like I have a lot of friends that I would love to interview on here, but I don't want to burden them. I don't want to, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. That's just me. That's how I am. I've always been that way. So, in Texas, Terrell, Texas, and I'm sorry, I apologize if I read these names of these towns wrong. Um, anyway, the candy lady, I was going to say something. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Candy left out on the windowsill is meant to lure out children so a spectral woman can pull out their teeth, kidnap them, or stab them in the eyes. This story may have been linked to the real person, Clara Crane, who killed her husband by poisoning Candy and was later released from an institution. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. So she poisoned Candy and gave him to her husband. Now I'm going to get the hiccups. Excuse me. Sorry. Um, hmm. Either way, if I see Candy out on a windowsill, I'm not taking it. Corpse Light, Cape Henlopen, Delaware. There is no lighthouse in Cape Henlopen, but there is a phantom light. It crashed the ship Devonshireman on Christmas of 1665 when more than 200 men died. Allegedly, the light is a curse from a local Native American tribe after British soldiers slaughtered attendees at a wedding ceremony. See, those curses, I'm telling you. Boohags, Southern Coastal Region, South Carolina. Gullah folklore tells us about the evil souls who stayed behind after death and became skinless vampire like witches who take other people's skins for a ride. Kind of like a skinwalker, only South Carolina version. The White Thing, the White Things, West Virginia. Mothman might be the more popular mystery, but rural West Virginia is also home to mysterious dog-like creature the size of lion with white shaggy fur. I've heard of that. I've researched that a little bit. Um, yeah, it's that picture doesn't do it no justice though. The one I seen was more like Yeti-ish, if that makes sense. I mean, it wasn't like Bigfoot or anything like that, but it was upright. It wasn't like that. I'll tell you that much. Um, Zombie Road in Wildwood, Montana. Stories about strange deaths along the road as far back as Native American times and drownings in a nearby river have made a fun haunted spot for teenagers for decades, but many of them have perished in strange accidents too. Today, dark shadows follow you, seen only out the corner of your eye, and that's Zombie Road in Montana. There's a blue werewolf too. Ron, where's that at? Do you know? Off the top of your head or Mercuritis in Mississippi? Don't ask me to say that. I don't know what that is. This story is an odd myth. It's about a disease. Supposedly, a horrible outbreak wrecked much of a rural Mississippi town and was later covered up by the government and a medical community. If a man ingests too much lead, he would produce a smell that would cause a hormonal reaction in women who who descend into mad homicidal fits. In West Virginia, no shit. I'll have to check that out too. Well, so men in Mississippi don't eat lead, too much lead. Is that kind of like love bugs in Florida? Those are man made and covered up. It was covered up by the government or medical. I don't know. My husband can tell you about it. He the one who told me. That was weird. I said my husband and someone knocked. He would have opened the door though if it was him. The Vampire Beast of Blazenboro. Bladenboro. I put an S in there. Sorry, guys. North Carolina. Gruesome deaths in the 1950s of a mutilated livestock and dogs drained of blood led to reports of something vague, feline, and huge living near Bladenboro. See, that's weird that this is. I was, as soon as they started talking about it, I was thinking of Chupacabra, right? But this one's feline. I don't know. Bermuda and dogs drained of blood. See, maybe this feline is getting back at the chupacabra. I don't know. That's weird. Very cool, though. The Platte River Ship, Platte River, Wyoming. Through thick mist, usually in February, a ship can be seen sailing in the Platte River. It's a phantom crew frosted over. On deck, you'll allegedly see the body of someone you know or yourself. That's creepy. Either way, the person's death will soon come. That's very creepy. I was going to say that's almost like the last episode of Blue Book. But that didn't happen. Can you imagine just seeing that and then you see somebody you know or yourself on that ship? Yeah, that'd be pretty freaky. Pretty freaky. The green clawed beast in Ohio River, Quitman, Indiana. With hairy arms, clawed hands, and green skin, this human sized creature grabs unsuspecting women. Some believe the specific incident that inspired the legend was an extraterrestrial visit related to the Kentucky Goblin sighting. See? Which happened on the same day. See? I'm telling you, if you want to know about the Kentucky Goblins, check out Hellier. And you'll learn about a lot of different things. Caddy of Cadborough Bay in Washington. Cad, Cadborough Bay. While the legend Bigfoot gets a great deal of attention in this state, you might not heard of a caddy, short for Cadaborosaurus, the local sea monster hanging out with in the Cadborough Bay. I can't. Damn it. Everybody has a Nessie, huh? Starting to think that. I could be wrong, but you never know. Dog Boy in Quitman, Arkansas. A werewolf like ghost walks on all fours and haunts his childhood home. This myth is based on the sad story of a real man, Gerald Bettis, who was rumored to experiment on stray animals and reportedly abused his elderly parents. So what? He died, and I know I've heard of this, but I can't remember the story. So I'm taking it he died and turned into a werewolf. Was that his punishment? See, that's my way of thinking. I sit there and think of this, and I'm like, why would he be punished as a werewolf? Because werewolves kill. And if he was abused by his elderly parents, but he experimented on stray animals. So it's like my brain's like, why is that tie in together? I don't know. I'm very weird that way. Puckwidgees. I know about Puckwidgees. Hawkmock Swamp in Mass. Hockomock Swamp in Mass. I'm trying to think of if I know that area, but I don't. Tiny grain tricksters resembling humanoid porcupines will lure people off cliffs or trap them in sand in the swampy regions of Massachusetts. Yes, they're very trickster like goblins. Only weird looking goblins. The Bunny Man. See, Harvey does exist. I'm telling you, Harvey does exist. Clifton, Virginia. On Halloween many years ago, a bus of transferring asylum inmates crashed, with one of the inmates escaping. For years, skinned, half-eaten rabbits were found hanging from the trees near Buddy Bridge, even after the supposed culprit died. Eventually, he allegedly attacked humans too, bodies strung up over the bridge. Was that supposed to be two bodies were strung up? Or he attacked humans too? Don't do that. That scared the hell out of me. Much like the Goat Man, this is one of the comments down here. This one makes me laugh for some reason. Probably a picture of a full grown man in a buddy costume hopping around carrying an axe. Um, See, that's why I think of Harvey. Harvey didn't have an axe, but the Rhinelander hot dog. The Rhinelander hot dog. That's a new one in Wisconsin, in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. An ugly, stumpy critter with a spiked tail. The hot dog features in Paul Bunyan stories and reportedly like eating to eat bulldogs. been a while since I read Paul Bunyan. Okay, see, this comment made me remember. Yes, they said if I'm remembering right, the creature tries to eat Babe and Paul turns it inside out. See, I remember an animal being turned inside out, but I wasn't sure. Apparently, it was this Rhinolander hog dog. Ho dog. Ho dog? Sorry. The Minnewashatu in Missouri River, North Dakota. The red bison like water monster of the Missouri River travels upstream to break ice. Anyone who sees it alone in the daytime will go insane. And again, if any of you guys watching or whatnot, if whether I'm live or not, if you heard of these or maybe even have seen them or have a story about them, definitely let me know. I would love to know. The Banaged Man, Cannon Beach, Oregon. The ghost of a logger who died in a grisly sawmill accident attacks cars and terrorizes teenagers. The smell of rotting fish predicts a visit. Ooh, ew. I don't know what else to say with that. That's in Oregon. Oh, yeah. I don't really don't want to run into him, right? Deep frozen folks. I oh, Montpelier. I know I screwed that up. Vermont. I know how to say it, but my mouth don't want to do it. Frugal vermin, Vermonters facing extreme winters have been said to freeze their elderly and thaw them in the spring. Is this more scary or utilitarian or both? Do people up in Vermont really do that? Are you from Vermont? Let me know. I mean, somebody wrote, if you think this is weird, check out the Dead Frozen Guy Festival. I mean, I could see, I don't know why I could see people doing back in the old days, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Have you ever heard this? I've never heard this. I mean, I've heard of frozen people, people out hiking and that, but not somebody freezing them to wait till spring to thaw them out. That's crazy. No, that's it. That's the end of it. That's the end of it. It's been a great ride. Oh, I don't know what to even think of those. Some of those. What do you guys think? It's very, very crazy to keep them fresh for summer planting. Well, yeah, I can understand that, but apparently to this thing though, it's all about uh freezing them and then thawing them out in the summer or the spring. That's the way I took it. Maybe it's just my mentally morbid brain going to work, but I think it was to save on food. Frugal facing extreme winters have been said to freeze their elderly and thaw them in the spring. I mean, maybe that's where this came from. That could be where it came from. But I don't know. That could be. I can understand that because people they do that. If they can't bury in the wintertime and stuff, totally understandable. I don't know, but my brain went to straight off creeping morbid shit. Unthaw them in the summertime, springtime, and they come back to life and live life. Could happen. You don't know. I haven't had enough coffee yet. That's the problem. I have not had enough coffee yet. Oh, Lordy B. So that is the 50th scariest urban myths of each state. How'd you guys like it? All right. Um, Crap, I forgot what my. Hold on. Since it doesn't want to do my other, things in the stream, only that one. Open in browser. Just so everybody know. No, that's not what I want. Enable. Okay. If anybody's watching me in YouTube, oh, I might have to do it up here. On my D Live, I will be sharing documentaries, all that good stuff. Is it near the Bermuda Triangle? The Hockomock Swamp? It's so the Hockomock is near the Bermuda Triangle or another triangle? Excuse me. Oh, okay. There's a triangle in Native American folklore in Massachusetts. Oh, okay. Good to know. Good to know. No, just anybody, if anybody joins my forum, it's not completely done yet. I'm still going through there. Right now, I'm adding spells um, for my book Shadows. But there is going to be talk of paranormal, cryptid, alien, all that good stuff on there. I just haven't gotten to it yet. It's still being worked on. And obviously, this is going to be for everybody to post whatever you want. Um, in reason, you know, and everything like that. We're gonna have a bunch of stuff on there. So if like nobody around is streaming or whatnot, and you get bored and you want to talk about shit, we'll talk about shit. There is a triangle in Native American folklore in Massachusetts. I will definitely. I'm gonna write that down. So one is the Beaver Dunes Park in Oklahoma. I gotta check that out. If I disappear, people, you know where the hell I am. I got taken by the Men in Black. And the second one I want to check out is the message. I wonder if Lou knows about that. Sets. I wonder if my friend knows. I have a bunch of friends. I used to live in Massachusetts. But I've never heard about that. Native American. Sorry, I want to write that down because I want to check it out. I want to check all that out. People escaped New York City? Ron, that really, really scares me because I don't want people taking this shit out that's going on. Um, I don't want them taking it out on the National Guard or the policeman or anything like that. You know, that's one thing. That's why I don't talk about this stuff much, is because that scares the hell out of me, because my son is in the National Guard and he's young and he's 23 and he's going to be a new daddy, first time daddy in June, and I'm scared to death of this shit. Um, I'm very scared that people are going to, obviously some people are blaming the country, the government and stuff like that, which is understandable. I can understand that. But National Guard people, I remember this is why my son joined the National Guard, was to help Americans, to help our homeland and everything like that. And I can just be, I gotta stop. Sorry. Um, I'm just very scared. Now everything's working. Holy hell. What is going on here? Sorry guys with my chat going nuts. Only in YouTube though. What? That's crazy. What the hell? Okay, let me go ahead and delete some of these. Sorry, Ron. Let me check to make sure you didn't say anything before that. Like, my chat just went rampant. See, I get upset and electronical things go nuts. That's wild. Why did that do all that? It just started, like every link I had, it started boom, boom, boom. What the hell? Sorry, Ron. That wasn't me. Wow. I hate that it leaves message retracted, though. Yeah, I just get upset about that. It worries me every day. And I know people are going to see National Guard and try to take them out, and, you know. So I'm very affected by it, you can say. But it is a very real issue. It is. I'm not like discrediting it. Yeah, my husband's a former Marine. And as um how it is when you first go in, you're excited. You want to, because you're a part of the military. You know what I mean? So those orders, I mean, even nowadays for people that are enlisted and everything like that, your orders are what you do no matter what. You know what I mean? And like Ryan, every time um he's gotten called out for, you know, called to duty, um like I think the last time he was when they helped people in Canada actually. I think it was the tornado, or maybe it was Florida with the hurricanes. I'm not sure. But he got called out. I can't remember when the last time they got deployed, and to help bring water and food to people, and that's what National Guards do. And that's why he joined, was to help people. It's funny you said that, Ron. Now, mind you, I always knew Ryan wanted to go into military. I always knew that. So when his recruiter was asking about his family and his home life and that, and he goes, "Well, what your parents think about you going in?" He goes, "My dad's fine with it. My other dad, meaning my husband, Eddie. He goes, I know he's great with it because he's a former Marine. My grandpa's fine with it. because he's former Army. And he's like, my mom, she might have a little bit of a problem with it. I was the last to know. Which, I mean, it didn't surprise me because he's got a. I don't know if you were here when he came on the live stream with me. He's got a very good, smart head on his shoulders. I'm very proud of my son. Very proud of my son. And, yeah, he didn't want to tell me. But he finally did, and I told him, I stand by him. Always have and always will. And there they all go again after I delete them all. But they're working on YouTube, but they're not working on. Well, there's some on Mixer, but I'm not sure which ones. Oh, they're all on Mixer. Oh, D-Live might have a. But they're not on D-Live. That's so weird. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, my son went in and I think I mean I don't know the terminology and everything, but he went to school for HVAC. He wants to be a journeyman, I think. That's what he said. I'm not sure. But he loves doing like plumbing and um electric work and all that stuff. I know plumbing definitely. Yeah, pipe stretcher. Yeah, that's yeah, I remember that joke with you and Eddie. Excuse me. Sorry, I didn't mean to cough in your guys' ears. But I mean, it really is a real worry for me. When it comes to that. It's a very real real worry for me. And it's sad because I'm scared of Americans more than other people from other countries. He's done all that, Ron. He wrote him and his class. I forget what he was taking. They built a whole house, and I think there were 7 in the class, plus their teachers, obviously. Um, but they what's really cool about the school, and this is why my daughter is still in New York and going to the school because I absolutely love this school. Um, the people that are in shop class and all that, the end of the year, or no, I think it was BOCES. I'm not sure. Um, but anyway, the end of the year, they build a Habitat for Humanity house each class every year, which is to me that's really cool. I'll tell them. Listen, first he's got to come and visit his mother. First he has to come and visit his mother, though. It's hard enough to visit because of him being in the National Guard and having to do his um, weekends or whatever, and then his well now he's probably laid off. Now he probably couldn't even get here, so it doesn't matter. Um, I'll let you and take you up here, right? Okay, okay, we can do it that way. Considering you guys probably couldn't make it up here right now anyway. Well, unless you're flying. See, Ryan's talking about driving. You can't get through Canada's borders right now. And you have to, when you're driving up here, you have to go through Canada. So, you know, which is a long drive from Western New York. I couldn't imagine doing it. Oh, well, I did it, but, I couldn't drive, you know. I took the Greyhound from Western New York to Seattle and then flew from Seattle to Anchorage just because I had never flown before. So I didn't want to freak out on a long flight. If I was going to freak out, I didn't want to do it on a long flight. So I figured just a measly 3 hour flight, I'd be all right. So, and I did from Seattle to Anchorage was a 3 hour flight. So I was fine with that. I didn't freak out and that found out that I actually love flying jets in jets. I love flying in jets. In Raven, which is the one that comes from Anchorage to here, then not so much. Hey, freaky geek, how are you? Aw, well that's okay. No, I'm not I'm no pilot. Oh my God, no. But when I first heard about the flights from Anchorage to here, I thought they were because my husband calls them puddle jumpers, and I thought he was talking about crop dusters, and I'm like, I'm not riding in no crop duster, you know. I love flying jets. No, I not me piloting them. I like riding in them. I know. So, see, I was thinking that when I was talking about something I said I was reading going through the list and I said that's freaky. I was waiting for Freaky Geek to pop up. I don't like wine, Ron. I have to. No, I didn't have anything. Maybe, yeah, maybe for the flights from Anchorage to here. Were you? I know. See, we were all waiting for you, Freaky Geek. We knew you'd be coming in. But yeah, no, I'm not pilot. But I told Eddie I'm not riding in no crop duster. But these are a step up from crop dusters. Let's see if I can pull it up what these are. Alaska, Anchorage. Okay, show me the plane. Yeah, well, that's how a lot of people get around here, though, is crop dusting. That's what they fly. That's the little ones that come from Anchorage to Valdez. These guys. Like their landing gear on the sides is always up. Or not always up. That wouldn't that wouldn't be good. No, it's always down. I don't like them. They're not big at all. As you can see, there's one, two. Well, the seating starts here after the door because the little stewardess sits there. So, I mean, they're not big at all. They're not very fun. Oh, I gotta change that. Hold on. But that's how a lot of people get through here. Or not here, but in different parts of Alaska. That's why I'm so scared that these people in like Bethel and and Burrow and all these little native um, villages, their supplies, they have to go on little planes, little crop dusters to go get supplies to the grocery store when you're not here for you. That's right. That's right, Ron. Oh, we learned something new. We should have known about Freaky Geek, though, huh? We should have known that. No stranger to that chore. But yeah, I don't like those planes at all. I don't like flying. I'd rather drive the 6 hours. I don't care. But yeah, when Eddie said, "Oh, well, you fly a puddle jumper," I was like, "What? No, 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 Missy, don't do crop dusting." Oh, poor Freaky Geek. You missed a whole show. You missed a whole show. It was fun. We did the 50 different urban legends of the states. Well, that's I finally went on my first flight that was 6 hours. That's when actually Ryan was graduating boot camp, and whoops, I we did the a 6 hour flight. I can't remember where to where, but um I know for a fact that if it would have been longer than 6 hours, I would have freaked out. Also, I did find out that when learning to fly and stuff like that, when I first took my first flight, that I don't like banking. I almost, when it was turning, I'm sitting there like, if they would have been still banking for like 2 seconds longer, because in my head, all I could hear was too fast, too fast. I was grabbing things like too fast, too fast, too fast. I keep flashing. It's OBS screwing up. Ugh. You didn't tell your mother when you were graduating? Oh, I would have kicked your ass. I would have so kicked your ass. Right? That's what I'm talking about, Freaky Geek. Um, did you guys? Well, no, I know. Yeah, you guys seen that thing that Diary made me. I had it on YouTube, or I had it on Facebook. See, I hardly go on Facebook. Um, I was trying to find my pictures of my son. Anyway, so yeah, I found out that I didn't like banking and that I love takeoff and um landing. Those don't bother me at all. I love doing. I love that. Oh, really? Well, see, you know what pisses me off, Ron, is like the phones, they got taken away. Okay. The phones got taken away from when Ryan was graduating boot camp. Their phones got taken away, but they gave them to him right before they graduated. And it makes me so mad because it was a surprise to him that me and Eddie got to come down. but he saw me post on Facebook that we flew in. I was so mad. So mad. I don't want to tag no, I just wanted my freaking. Okay. Um, so he didn't get surprised because of the fact that they gave him their phone. I was so mad. So mad. I'm trying to find. Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe it's farther down. Yeah, so I was excited. I'm like, okay, cool. I get to surprise him, right? I get to surprise him that we're coming down, and boom, he messaged me the night before. I know you're here. I'm like, that's so wrong. That's so wrong. I didn't actually, no. What did I? Yeah, I saw his boot. I didn't get to see his graduation from, what is it, MIT's or whatever. I got to see that graduate, or I didn't get to see that graduation, but I did get to see him graduate from boot camp, which was really cool. I'll show you my favorite picture. Oh, I love this picture. Now, with the story with Ryan is when he saw his dad, me, Eddie, he had the tears in his eyes, right? Oh, I'm sorry, Ron. That's how it was with my ex, or my not my ex-husband, my husband now. That's how it was with Eddie. Um, I'm trying to get these pictures up. So with my son, wrong one. As soon as it goes through, that's my favorite picture. That's my favorite picture. That's my son and my daughter. Um, with my son, he was fine. That's Eddie and my son. Well, as soon as it wants to show again, there it is. That's Eddie and my son. My son. Okay. He was fine seeing us. He was fine seeing us. He had a tear in his eye, but he wasn't like, you know what I mean? He was being a man. Then he saw his sister. That's when he broke. That's when he broke. Is when he saw his sister, and I thought that was the sweetest thing because it means the world. Well, that's all of us, yeah. Um, yeah, that's when he broke and started crying. Same with Eddie's mom. Isn't that weird, Ron? But and then I broke down. I was fine until that's when I broke down. Um, because I went to take a picture of him and my daughter, and uh, I went to take a thank you, Jesse. I went to take a picture of him and my daughter Danielle, and he was hugging everybody, and Danielle came in and crushed his, grabbed his stomach because she's, younger and smaller, and uh, and he was fine until I'm like, okay, and Danielle was crying because she missed her older brother. And so He was fine until that happened when she come running and gave him a huge hug, you know. And I went to take, I'll never forget the moment because I went to take a picture of him and Danielle together. And he looked at me and said, and I knew he was going to break down. And so that caused me to break down, which caused that picture that you see of me and him hugging because, you know, we were both crying. But yeah, he was fine up until that moment, till Danielle did that, and then he got teary eyed. He's the man, and that little girl, his little sister, means the world to him, you know. And yeah, so but yeah, and I was fine up until that minute. And to see them because him and his older sister don't get along, and so to see him be like that with her meant the world to me, you know. So and the whole I don't know if you guys have ever seen. I mean, Ron, I'm sure you have, obviously. But what they did for um, God, what they do for graduation just gets you. It gets you. Like Ron, I don't know what they did for you. I mean, obviously Eddie said it was different for him, but when the National Guard or the Army, he when he went to graduate, we're all in the stadium or the sitting area, you know, in the bleachers and that. And nobody was out there but I guess his sergeant in command. I don't know. I don't know who the guy was, but he was doing, you know, going down everything. And all of a sudden he tells us all to yell, um, what the hell was it? Off to Vicksburg or something like that. And when we yelled that, of course, he was joking around, said, "Oh my God, if you guys are going to yell like that, then this is not going to happen. You got to yell really loud," you know, that type of thing. And he was messing with us a little bit. And then we said it, or something to Vicksburg, almost like victory to Vicksburg, but that wasn't it. But anyway, so we yelled that, and all of a sudden you see these tear bombs come, you know, but they're colored bombs, you know, colored almost like throwing the color balls we used to light, you know, only it's their thing, whatever they're doing. And so all these colors are going up, and they played oh, what song is it? We Are Soldiers. I can't think of the group who does it, but it's like a heavy metal group. Um, but they were blasting that song. Yeah, smoke bombs with colors. Thank you, freaky geek. And just as that song, it was so cool because they had the A, B, C, and D troops, you know, and the A started out. That's what my son was in. The A started out, and then the B started after them, and then the C and the D. And just as the smoke was fading, they were all standing there at attention. It was just an amazing sight. You know what I mean? Oh, Ron, I'm so sorry, hon. Yeah, well, see, I was excited to see my son, but Danielle was definitely very excited to see her older brother. But it was, yeah, I mean, the ceremony was just amazing. Amazing. It definitely got you in the feels. You know what I mean? It definitely got you in the feels. But yeah, they were blasting, and as the smoke cleared, they were all standing there. And it was just, oh, amazing. telling you. Of course, as Ryan would say, Mom, you'd cry. We could be sitting there. He's like, you cry at anything, which I do. you know, I'm like, it's all you guys' fault. I wasn't this, emotional until I had kids and you messed up my hormones and stuff. Kinda. It was different colors though. There was green and purple and pink and blue and, all these different ones. Like, I didn't even see the guys come out of the woods to throw the damn things. That's how good camouflage they got. I just know they were canisters and it was like smoke bombs, but bigger ones. Yeah. Yeah, you guys have the parade deck, yeah. See, like, Eddie was 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines? Would that be right? I don't know. I can't remember. I think so, though. I'm not sure. I think a lot, but doesn't mean I know. Freaky Geek, did you see when I share on my page, on Shadows of the Moon's page? That's weird. I just refer to myself in third party. That freaked me out a little bit. Anyway, do you see the notifications from there? Because I'm trying to figure out how to. I mean, I can always share them on my Facebook, but yeah, on Facebook on the Shadows of the Moon's page. Are you a liker of that or no? Or do you just wait till I post it on my regular Facebook? What's better for you? Let me put it that way. Because if I go on D Live, I want to obviously. Well, when I went live, I shared it on my Facebook. Not on my Facebook, but on my page, Shadows of the Moon page. Because I might be playing the documentary tonight. If anybody's interested, I'm going to be playing a documentary on my obviously on my D Live. Oh, you sound like me. My problem is I get the D Live on my phone, but I don't on here. And for some reason, Jesse, have you been having problems that the list isn't loading right? Like I know Image Gem um was like live and I had to search her out to see her live. Like it wasn't on the list of live people that you follow, if that makes sense. Yeah. I even tried signing out and signing back in to see if it would work, but it still didn't work. Gotcha, freaky geek. Yeah. So you might have to search me out if I send a alert saying that I'm live. You know what I mean, or a message or something. Um, See, I get all my notifications that I think on the phone, and then I'll come in here and I'm like, oh, I don't see anybody live. You know what I mean? And then I'll go and search people that I know are live from the notifications on my phone, and sure enough, they're live. It sucks. I hate it. You have to look under your followers. You know what? I didn't even think about that, Jesse. Thank you. I didn't even think about that. I always sat there and searched them out. I was thinking about probably gonna take a nap, because Missy always does that. Um, Maybe around 6 my time. Would that be too late? Yeah, Jesse, I didn't even think about that. That's good. That's, yeah, I know what you meant. I speak Taiwanese. And considering this is why I talk and not type because I do Taiwanese all the time. You, oh, I'm thinking you're in New York. I was gonna say you're 4 hours. It's noon now. It's noon here now. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're on the East Coast. So 4 hour, yeah. I'm the same way, freaky geek. I'm the same way. Anybody else? I remember New York just because that's where my kids are, and my daughter keeps forgetting that I'm. I'll wake up and I'll say missed phone call at 4 a.m. and I'm like, Danielle. Oh no, we lost connection. YouTube, I lost connection in the chat. Right? Right, freaky geek. Have I still? Oh no, that's Mixer. I think that's Mixer. Never mind. We're safe. Oh, okay. Not that anybody's watching me in Mixer. Right? So yeah, all right. So around 6 p.m. my time, which is yeah, it'd be 10 p.m. your time. Yeah. So yeah, I'll do the first part of the documentary, the three-part documentary, if y'all are interested. I've talked about it enough. I own them, so you know. Sounds good. Where are you again, Ron? I will say the first documentary it's interesting, but it's not until the end that it gets really good. Alabama, that's East Coast, right? You're on Eastern Standard Time. So gather up your friends, but it's a good documentary. You'll see it. It's good. Well, I think it's good. You're gonna watch and be like, "What the hell, Missy? What's wrong with you?" Oh, is it Central? Okay, yeah, then 9 o'clock. Yeah, 9 p.m. My bad. I thought Alabama was. See, I'm so bad. If it's not around New York, I have no clue. I'm sorry. So yeah, plan on around 6 p.m. my time, and I'll run that, and we'll watch it, and have some fun, talk about it. I'm not sure. That's when you're right next to Mississippi. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, my best friend's mom is from Mississippi. Boy, she gets mad. You can't understand her at all. Like she's from, I guess, deep Mississippi. But yeah, all right. So we'll plan that out. Well, 6 p.m. my time. I'll shoot up the documentary. We'll watch it over there on D Live. And yeah, thank you guys for coming in today. I appreciate it. I'm a Yankee. Yes, that's what my dad said when I had to do a project in school for what our nationality is. Like, just tell him you're playing Yankee Doodle. Only my dad. So let me go ahead and run the credits. Well, I could always say, you want a quarter for your water. Only when I get mad does my New Yorker came out, but I don't have a New York accent, apparently, to anybody, unless I get mad at somebody. Thank you guys for watching and hanging with me. I appreciate it. Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. You want some Worcestershire sauce? Do you want some Heinz 57? Do you hear it? Do you hear it now and then? That's so funny. I love you guys. Thank you for coming hanging. Like I said, come back on my D Live around 6 p.m. my time, which is Alaskan time. So that's, what did we say? 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time? You add horse. Yeah, Worcestershire sauce. Love you guys. And until then, have fun, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Horse wagon, Chuck wagon, the Chuck wagon. All right, guys, love ya. Take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you tonight.